You might not know the name David Ruffin, but almost definitely you know his voice.
My girl, my girl, my girl, talking about my girl.
If you don't know who he is, David Ruffin was the lead singer of The Temptations. It was a band back in the 60s and 70s. But what most people don't know, and I'm sure would be shocked to hear, is how he fucking died. You see, David overdosed on crack cocaine. Yeah, that's right. This guy who sung R&B songs about love, about woman, was doing crack fucking cocaine. One of the hardest drugs known to fucking man. Sure, back then in the 60s, it was a big thing for musicians to try drugs, do all these drugs. But he wasn't some fucking rock and roll heavy metal heavy. He was just an ordinary guy. Sure, he was famous, but he wasn't the sort of guy you would imagine to be doing crack cocaine. But it just shows the depth, the width of drug addiction. It can happen to fucking anyone. And people will say, oh, that could never be me. I'm sure plenty of people have probably clicked off this video already because they think that'll never be them because they just drink. But do you really think anyone really thinks when they're younger, oh yeah, I'm going to be a drug addict? Anyone really plans on this shit happening? No, it sneaks up on you. Do you really think David went from being some sober choir boy to being a full-on crack addict? Of course not. He almost definitely drunk. And then maybe when he was out at a party, someone offered him cocaine. He tried it. He liked it. He was suffering at that moment in time, which we all go through. We all go through periods of suffering. Unlucky for him, that is when he found drugs. So he got addicted. And it just built and built and built until he was doing crack cocaine. And then he ended up dying. You see, drugs destroy lives. We all know this. We see it all over media, over the TV. It takes lives. It took David's life. It took my sister's life. It could have took my life if I didn't wise up and get sober. This epidemic of partying, drug use, is everywhere. That is why I'm now dedicated to helping as many people as possible get sober, get off that drink, get off the drugs, remove themselves from that old BS lifestyle. Top link in the description. Like I was saying, it sneaks up on people, and it snuck up on me. Because I know what it's like to just say, oh, I'm just going to drink. I'm just going to drink. I'm not going to do any hard drugs. Eventually, that drink turned to drink and weed. And I would say to myself, I'm just going to drink and smoke. I was going out and I was just drinking and smoking. Like many people across the world do. And right now I can tell you 100% weed is a gateway drug. Because before I knew it, I was doing fucking hard drugs. Before my eyes, my brain was being changed. Even though so many times I said I would never do hard drugs, when the time fucking came, I did it like that without even thinking. It wasn't until after I thought, oh shit, look what I had done. And this was not the last time this happened. I said to myself that I would do so many drugs that I ended up doing. I said I would never do coke because it was like crack. It was horrible. It's really bad for you. I'd never do that shit. I turned it down quite a few times, but months went by. About a year went by, and guess what? I ended up doing coke. It was the same as Xanax. I heard bad things about Xanax. Oh, it's really addictive, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I ended up doing it. Willingly, I bought it off the dark web. I used my initiative to go out and get it. I actually wanted to do it. And the worst of all was butane. Lighter gas. Fucking lighter gas. I remember when I first heard about it, I laughed, I scoffed. I was like, what the fuck? Why would anyone be so stupid to do it? Yet, I ended up doing it. This is why addiction, drugs, partying is so destructive. Because it is not stagnant. There is nothing in the universe that is stagnant. Everything is constantly moving in one direction or the other. So when you've got a vice, a bad habit, it's either getting better or getting worse. There is no in between. And of course, during that period of time, for me, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. My mental health was getting absolutely destroyed. I hated my life. I hated every second of being awake. I was getting fucking physical pains all around my abdomen. Sharp pains, dull aching pains constantly. All fucking day. I felt like my insides were just being destroyed. And eventually it got to the point where every single moment, even when I was high, was just so dull, just like all the colour just sucked out of the fucking universe. And that is when I finally decided to change. I seen that there was a better way. I used to watch this guy called Wes Watson on YouTube. He doesn't really post on YouTube anymore. But he was the guy, in my opinion, that gave me that inspiration to get sober. He showed me that there is a better fucking way. You don't need to destroy yourself with these bad habits, these vices. See, we do this because we lack the foundational habits that we're supposed to have in our life. These natural, good habits that we're supposed to have in our life. We do things like coke, and weed, and drink to run from this pain that's all created simply because we are living wrong. This is why you need to start changing your habits. See, your habits define who you are as a person. They change your inside. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know why this happens, but your habits literally define you. I mean, you know the kind of stereotypical person that does drugs. You'll know the stereotypical person that studies all the time. These stereotypes are valid. Why? Because the habits change the person, they change the internal. So you need to start adding good habits like exercise. It's vital. Exercise is vital because it's the most life-changing habit out of anything I've experienced internally. Of course, externally is great too. You build muscle, you look good, you feel great. But the way it changes your brain, it's like no other. I don't know if it's the discipline of going even when you don't want to go, or if it's just from doing some hard shit. But whatever it is, you turn into a complete fucking savage. Everyone needs to be exercising. I don't care if it's just some fucking yoga, or if it's weights, or running, or basketball. You have to do some sort of exercise if you want a decent life. Meditation is another great tool that I used to escape from that old life, that BS life. See, meditation brings us into the true reality of the world. We think we know what the world is, we think we know who we are, but what we're seeing is fiction, it's bullshit, it's a lie. See, we're not our thoughts and feelings, we're not these storylines, this bullshit character that we build up in our head. See, we all have what's known as the ego. People misinterpret the ego. They think ego means you're like vain and selfish and all that. An over attachment to the ego can mean that, but everyone has an ego. Your ego is simply your identity. The story that you tell yourself of who I am. I like this color. I like this food. I talk like this. I think like this. All of that. That is your ego. And meditation, it'll help you drop that. Of course, it'll still be there, but you're letting go and you start to see the world as it truly is. You're not supposed to be thinking all the time, yapping all the time. It gets tiring. I know, I've been there. The best way to go through that, to rise above that, is through meditation. Reading is another great, brilliant habit. It helps you escape without that come down, without that regret that you get every single time from alcohol, from drugs. It doesn't matter if it's fiction, non-fiction, both are great. What you need to do is find the right book, because I know you think that you're not a reader. Everyone thinks that. I thought that. What you need to do is find the right book. Because once you do, you find the right type of books, you will love to read, even though, yes, it's hard to concentrate sometimes. But when you love the book, you won't want to put it down. So don't waste your time reading books that you don't really want to read. That people say, oh, that's a great book, but you find it boring. Find the books that you enjoy, and I swear it'll come the easiest of all habits. Because we all enjoy reading. Our brains are fucking made to read. But yet too many of people just throw this fucking aside thinking, oh, I'm not a reader. I'd rather scroll. Finally, you need to be socializing. You need to be going out there and talking to your friends, doing shit with your friends that's not destructive. Yes, you do, I guess, get socialized when you go and party, but you're destroying yourself. It's a waste of your fucking life. I mean, this is why people go out and party, to be honest, because we all have this need inside of us, whether we're introverts or extroverts. We all have that socializing need because we're social animals. I believe, I'm not too sure, but back in the day, I think I heard that we used to live in tribes of about 80 to 120 people. That's fucking tons. Most people don't even know that many amount of people. We need to have a fucking solid group that we're going out and doing good things like hiking, like exercise, and maybe just having a chat, having a coffee, having dinner. But certainly not fucking doing drugs together. Yes, alcohol's a drug. Look, if you feel that call to move up, if you're done with that mediocre life, you see everyone around you, you see their average, you see they're punishing themselves, living this dull existence. You don't want that for yourself. If you have felt that call, that is your sign from God. It's time to change your life. I'm now dedicating my life to helping people change their lives, dropping that bullshit way of life and creating a new one, a better fucking way. This is why I'm creating a course. I'm doing a pre-sale. So it's half the price right now. When I fully finish the course, it'll be double. So join now and log in the price. Inside this course, I teach people not only how to remove this fucking horrible vice, this horrible addiction, but create a life that they love, that they enjoy, so they never want to go back. Even if you're only drinking on the weekends, this still pertains to you. This habit of going out, this recreational drug use, this habitual drug use of any kind, even cigarettes, is wasting all your potential. Everything that you want is right before your eyes, right before your hands. You're just able to grasp it, slightly out of reach, but you keep going off in that other direction. You keep veering off the path because of these bad fucking habits. See that regret, that come down, it is not a fucking, it's not just there as a punishment. Regret is your guideline. It's trying to tell you, that's God trying to fucking tell you what direction you need to go, what direction you need to take in your life. When you say to yourself, oh, I know I shouldn't do that, that's not you. That's God fucking talking to you. That's why it feels so horrible when you don't listen to that, because that is your punishment. But these relapses, these regrets, they're just wake up calls, and we need to use them correctly. You're better than that bag, you're better than that fucking bottle. Wise up.